Door-to-door delivery of fresh fish at reasonable price will be promoted. This will be channelized through selected fish marts of Matsya Fed in all districts. Several fishing harbors, including Mutalapodi, Chelanam, Thanur, Koilalendi, Velail, and Manjeshwaram, were commissioned in 2021. Further extensive works of breakwaters at Thanur and Velail fishing harbors and berthing jetties at Bepur and Chombal fishing harbors were completed. The Thalai Chalil Gopalpeta finger jetty in Kannur district is nearing completion. In the modernization of fishing harbors, Shakti Kulangara, Nindakara, Thangasheri, and Kayamkulam harbors will be taken up in the first phase. New fishing harbors at Parapangadi and Chethi will be constructed. The works under Oki package will be completed. Food and civil supplies. Department effectively implemented the policies of my government that no one in the state will suffer hunger during the pandemic. The needs of guest workers were especially taken care of. Vigilant market intervention was done by the department to avoid the price hike and shortage of food grains or vegetables. My government distributed free grocery kits to all 90 lakh families with 10 to 14 essential items, as well as free ration to all families in the state, including those persons who had no ration cards based on Aadhaar card. Free food kit and food grains were issued to members of orphanage and welfare institutions also. The launch of e-ration card was a historic change and has ensured that the concept of one nation, one ration card with portability of ration card across states was implemented. These initiatives also enabled the state to access an additional borrowing limit of 0.25% of GSDP in the last financial year with respect to the performance targets mandated by Government of India, thus leveraging critical resources for the state. The department envisages distribution of fortified rice through the public distribution system to realize the goal of nutritional security. Mobile ration shops would be extended to all inaccessible tribal and settlement areas. The Center for Food Research and Development would be strengthened with new courses and new facilities to open new avenues for the state in the food processing sector and provide gainful employment to the youth. The dehydration plant for advancing the shelf life of agricultural produce would be operationalized for livelihood security of farmers of perishable items. The new Consumer Protection Act 2019 encompassing the e-commerce sector would be implemented in letter and spirit to prevent consumer exploitation. An ERP solution would be put in place to streamline and consolidate the activities of Supply Co so as to ensure that the PSU operates profitably. Paddy procurement would be made more farmer-centric. Agricultural produce, especially edible cash crops of Kerala, will be procured and marked through Supply Co outlets after converting them into value-added products. The online home delivery network under Supply Co would be further extended across the state. A new technical lab would be operationalized under the aegis of Legal Metrology Department towards making the system more people and business friendly. Gold assaying and testing labs will be set up by the Legal Metrology Department at Thiruvananthapuram, Ernakulam and Kozhikode. The largest state-of-the-art, now this is about forest and wildlife, the largest state-of-the-art elephant rehabilitation center project in India spanning 176 hectares at Kotur, Thiruvananthapuram was inaugurated on 16th February 2021. A zoological park of international standards at Puthur in Thrissur district, the first phase of which has been inaugurated, shall be completed by 2022. The field units of the Forest Department will be reorganized on landscape basis so that the forest and adjoining areas come under holistic and coordinated management, which will improve their hydrological planning. Appropriate training and equipment will be given to forest staff and forest stations will be established in a phased manner. My government also intends to establish 500 demonstrative green plots or miniature forests in school, college premises called Vidya Vanam, which will inculcate love and belonging towards nature and forest among the students. Nagara Vanam will be established in collaboration with local self-government institutions, residents associations and other agencies. General Administration. Kerala, the Corporation, Kerala State Welfare Corporation for Forward Communities. The corporation has launched a project for farming for the uplift of economically backward classes in the forward communities. The corporation has already given financial support to 178 joint liability groups and 23 individuals across Kerala, amounting to rupees 1,61,38,350 in the financial year 2021. As part of economic intervention in women's empowerment, KSWCFC had launched a new project named Samunnathi Tusanila Mini Cafe, which is intended to prepare and serve quality food to the common people at lower cost. For this, the corporation has implemented the project in collaboration with Commissionerate of Food Safety and Dhanlakshmi Bank. This program will also increase the employment opportunities among the women, joint liability groups among economically backward sections in forward communities. As a first step, the corporation had given support to 4 women JLGs across the state, amounting to 600,000 rupees. 3 Thusanila Mini Cafe at Kutarkara, Alapura and Thalavadi have already opened and in this financial year, and the KSWCFC is planning to open 96 more cafes across the state. Kerala Youth Leadership Academy. Kerala Youth Leadership Academy is a first of its kind, unique institution in the country, incubated by my government to empower the youth across the state to integrate their potential and commitment towards the social development and governance in Kerala. Samuhik Sannad Sena is the unique volunteer community task force under my government to create or develop a disaster-resilient community. There are around 3.8 lakh registered Sannath Sena volunteers across the state. Around 10,000 volunteers are active on ground as police volunteers. 7,000 have been deployed in various CFLTCs for COVID-19 duty. Around 6,000 are currently active under various LSGIS for COVID-19 related activities. Sannadha Sena volunteers have ensured adequate intervention during all crises in the state, assisting the state governance and district administration to help contain disasters more effectively. The renovation of the Travancore Palace in New Delhi has been entrusted to NBCC and the work is to start soon. General education. The infrastructural standards have been enhanced in all levels of schools. As a consequence, the enrollment of students in government and aided schools in the state has gone up considerably. Despite the pandemic situation, the department continued to conduct classes through the online mode. My government aims to enhance the quality of school education so as to make it more oriented to development of life skills. Health and Family Welfare Department successfully handled the problem of massive surge in COVID-19 incidents with the cooperation and coordination with other frontline departments. Major government healthcare facilities in the state were expanded on a real-time basis. A total of 148 CFLTCs, which means 19,093 beds, 88 CSLTCs, 8,470 beds, and 608 domiciliary care centers, which means 26,679 beds, are arranged for admitting patients in addition to the hospital facilities. The lab network too was strengthened from a single testing lab at the beginning to 2,667 labs at present for COVID-19 testing in Kerala. Our health department has received widespread acclaim for fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Continuous training programs and volunteer recruitment through the COVID Brigade and utilizing the services of the 3.8 lakh strong community volunteer corps ensured a steady flow of trained human resources to these centers. My government also took proactive steps to empanel private healthcare institutions in its mission through the Kerala Arogya Suraksha Paddhati health insurance scheme. A treatment package for COVID-19 walk-in patients into private hospitals was also declared for bringing fairness in treatment costs across various hospitals. Kerala has also performed exceptionally well in rolling out its COVID-19 vaccination drive across the state with 65,92745 people having been administered the first dose of vaccine and 21,936 people having been administered both doses of vaccine. Kerala's vaccination program has been lauded for its efficiency and zero wastage of vaccines. Under the Ardharam Mission Outpatient Department, transformation work in 8 medical colleges, 9 district general hospitals and 1 taluk hospital has been completed. The Karunya Arogya Suraksha Paddhati, implemented by the State Health Agency, provides health care cover and cashless treatment of 5 lakh rupees per family per year for secondary and tertiary care hospitalization to over 42 lakhs poor and vulnerable families in the state. Higher education, the academic quality and physical infrastructure of higher education institutions will be enhanced to national and international standards so as to ensure Kerala's steady transformation into a modern knowledge society. The quality of self-financed higher education institutions will be ensured through a state-level accreditation mechanism. To cater to the increasing demand for higher education, there will be an increase in the number of seats, new courses and research facilities. It is expected that 3 to 4 lakh more students will get an opportunity to pursue higher education as a result of these initiatives. The Eminent Scholars Online Program, an online interactive lecture series given by world-class eminent professors in various fields for graduate and postgraduate students of our colleges, universities, is being implemented. My government started the digital and the Shri Narayan Guru Open Universities during 2021. University departments and centers will be elevated as centers of excellence. The Home Department. The state has always been a pioneer in adopting technology in policing. Artificial intelligence projects in the police department will be initiated in the year 21-22. Cyber domes at Thiruvananthapuram, Kochi and Kozhikode will be strengthened. It is proposed to set up a high-tech cyber security center at Thiruvananthapuram. It is proposed to constitute a coastal police division and a counter-intelligence cell for neutralizing activities of foreign agencies. Starting of cyber crime investigation division and setting up of economic offense wing are also proposed. An initiative to provide enhanced security for senior citizens, women and children will be implemented with the aid of technology. Housing. The Housing Board will implement Grahashri Housing Scheme by disbursing subsidy to 1,000 beneficiaries with an outlay of 20 crore rupees, an Ashwas rental scheme for providing rental accommodation for the patients who require constant medical attention and who are undergoing treatment in medical colleges of the state will be taken up. As part of Kerala State Housing Board Golden Jubilee celebrations in the year 2021, the KSHB has launched the Sohurdam Parpila Paddhati, an innovative self-financing housing loan scheme with the participation of people for the home security of the community. KSHB has also invited expression of interest to select consultant developer to implement the International Exhibition Nagar project through PPP mode in the 17.9 acres of land owned by KSHB at Marine Drive, Kochi. Pirvasi housing scheme started in last financial year will be continued more effectively to fulfill the housing needs of the low-income group of Pirvasis. Industries. Kerala has witnessed a perceptible growth in industrial investment in last 5 years. Close to 48% of the MSME establishments, that is 68,419 in the state, were formed during the same period. An estimated 300,000 employment opportunities were created in the MSME sector. The reform process in the industrial area, encapsulated in the online platform K-Swift, provides 79 online service spread across 14 departments. All new and renewal process of licensing are delivered on this portal, which has changed the landscape of industrial licensing in the state. Automatic approvals for MSMEs highlight the change in my government's approach from investigation or inquiries to the issuance of approvals on self-declarations. Close to 11,878 MSME acknowledged certificates for starting MSMEs have been issued in the state. On the other hand, the Innovation Index ranking made by Niti Aayog has ranked Kerala at the 10th place, and the National Council of Applied Economic Research have placed Kerala in 6th position under the Investment Potential Index. My government has taken the policy decision to form a state-level complaints redressal committee for dealing with complaints and grievances from investors. A committee has been formed to suggest draft legislation for this. The industrial model of MSME-based industrial growth is further strengthened by adopting a strategy to attract large-scale investors or anchor investors. The state is one of the better performing states under the Government of India's Cluster Development Program. My government, while formulating projects, has taken care to handhold and develop traditional sectors like textiles, khadi, handicrafts, handloom, coir, and rubber. In order to safeguard employment and revive industrial activity, my government has offered to take over 3 loss-making central PSUs: Instrumentation Limited in Palakkad, Hindustan Newsprint Limited Kottayam, and BHEL in Kasaragod. The number of PSUs making profit has increased from 14 to 16 in the last year. An open source platform is being developed by the Electronic and Information Technology Department, which will soon link all these stakeholders. This is in addition to the already existing e-market platform. This program is expected to create at least 100,000 jobs every year, and in a period of 5 years, the state could add up to 500,000 jobs on a sustained basis. My government is committed to developing the Kochi-Palakkad industrial corridor to overcome the logistic cost and hurdles of bringing goods from outside the state. Fast-track development of 481 acres of Kinfra Petrochemical Park in Ambal Mughal with all supporting infrastructure for anchor investor BPCL and 13 other units will be ensured. Fast-track development of Kochi-Bengaluru industrial corridor by developing Palakkad as a node and GIFT city as the hub in Kochi. This initiative is likely to generate investment of 20,000 crore and has an employment potential of 15,000. A spice park is supposed to be developed by Kinfra at Thodupuza. Integrated rice technology parks are planned by Kinfra at Palakkad and Ellapura districts. Now, Mr. Speaker, if you permit, since my address will be laid on the table of the House, so I will now confine myself to some important parts, or if you wish, I will read the whole thing. Some part. Okay. Thank you very much. I would like to refer to Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board. In 2016, my government set for itself the ambitious target of transforming the infrastructure landscape in the state. Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board was designated as the agency for achieving this ambitious objective through a unique and innovative model. After 4 years of its relentless service to the state, KIIFB's achievements speak for themselves. KIIFB has so far approved 903 projects with an outlay of 6322,442 crore, These projects comprise both physical and social infrastructure across a range of sectors, including hospitals and health centers, schools and colleges, roads and bridges, water supply and sanitation, electricity and communication networks, industrial parks, and cultural complexes. Out of these, 488 projects worth rupees 21,309.68 crore have been tendered, and 27 projects worth 732 crore and 160 project components worth 560.29 crore have been commissioned. KIIFB has also become a pioneer in adopting the green building agenda in the state by mandating that all KIIFB funded buildings above a certain size shall be certified as green buildings. KIIFB has also recently entered into a MOU with International Finance Corporation to help structure KIIFB projects as PPP projects. Information and Public Relations Department. The department was instrumental in ensuring effective communication to the public during the crisis of COVID-19. In addition, the Break the Chain campaign of my government to arrest COVID-19 was successfully disseminated to all sections of society through the department. Ini Yum Munnotu, the flagship campaign led by the department, effectively communicated the policies of my government to people, and it helped to raise awareness of the government schemes and programs. Following the completion of initial works of visual history project, I and PRD would now embark on setting up a digital museum, online library, and digital replication of the content to maximize sharing of the content to a variety of users. In 21-22, as part of integrated news grid project, I and PRD intends to enhance the penetration of information gathering and dissemination by additional deployment of trained personnel, labor and skills. My government has decided to award Todilali Shrestha in 15 employment sectors in order to promote the productivity and upgrade professional skills of the workers. The phase 1 of the guest workers friendly residence in Kerala project ALE will be started in 3 localities, namely Palakkad in Kottayam, Bengal Colony in Ernakulam, and Patambi in Palakkad districts. A unique health insurance scheme, namely Aavas, has been implemented for the guest workers in Kerala with rupees 2 lakh as accidental death insurance claim for each insured person. 509,451 guest workers have already been registered under the scheme. Minimum rates of wages have been revised in 9 scheduled employment categories. Land Revenue Department. My government's aim is to ensure that there will be no landless people in Kerala. Pattayam will be issued to all the entitled landless people during the period of my government. All necessary steps will be initiated to recover and protect government land under the unauthorized possession of encroachers. My government has already started the digitization of the revenue records. This process will be completed in a time-bound manner. A unique Thundeper system will be implemented so that the details of the property owned by a single person can be easily assessed. This will help to control Benami transactions and to find out the excess land under the Land Reforms Act. Thus, excess lands can be effectively recovered and distributed among the entitled landless persons. Local self-government. My government will move to new horizons of outcome-based planning, disaster-resilient urban planning, and resource mobilization with advanced geographic information system and other technology support. Improving citizen interface by simplifying and reducing burden of compliances will be an important thrust area. Issuance of online building permits in urban and rural local bodies will be fast-tracked. The digitization of local biodiversity registers will be an important digital intervention going forward. The integrated local governance management system will be extended to all the Gram Panchayats. Kutum Shri, the poverty eradication mission of Kerala, has played a vital role in providing welfare measures to people in their fight against COVID-19 through operation of community kitchens and running of Jankiya hotels. 1,017 Jankiya hotels have been established in the state and they provide meals to people at ₹20. The Chief Minister's Helping Hand Loan Scheme implemented through Kutum Shri provided interest-free loans amounting to 1,917.55 crore to 25.17 lakh families. This scheme will be extended to the current year also. The election to the local self-government in the state have been held smoothly following COVID-19 protocol. My government, through the Kerala Institute of Local Administration, has organized training programs for all the newly elected representatives. In the context of ease of doing business and online processing of building applications, the building rules were amended and the new Kerala Municipality Building Rules and Kerala Panchayat Building Rules were enacted. The total housing program life mission in the state has completed 262,402 houses. Out of these, 250,547 houses have been provided with free insurance coverage and an amount of rupees 8823.20 crore have been spent by my government for providing houses to eligible houseless families. Suichvita Padavi status was obtained by 711 out of 1,034 local self-governments in the state. The Clean Kerala Company entered into agreement with 424 local self-governments for waste transportation and recovery, 968 material collection facilities and 175 resource recovery facilities with the support of Harit Karma Sena started functioning in the state to address door-to-door collection of waste. Repair of 5,296 rural roads damaged during the flood of 18 and 19, amounting to rupees 1,000 crore, have been taken up under the Chief Minister's Local Road Rebuild Project. In addition to this, development of 408 roads have been taken up, worth rupees 469 crores under Rebuild Kerala initiative. The local self-government will take up the following initiatives during 21-22. All agricultural development activities would be based on watershed. Long-term institutional capability will be developed for waste management, especially in liquid waste management, including sewage and septic. The newly approved World Bank supported Kerala Solid Waste Management Project will be taken up on priority for the waste management. At least one regional landfill will be developed in the state for closure of historic waste dumps through capping or bioremedication. The Naipunya Karma Sena was formed by the department to rectify electrical, plumbing, carpentry works of the damaged houses that emerged subsequent to 2018 floods. In present scenario of repeated natural hazards, my government aims to step up Naipunya Karma Sena as a permanent setup during the financial year 21-22. As part of the environmental friendly initiatives, my government has put in place a green rebate in property tax levied by local government for buildings constructed in eco-sustainable manner. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. For the first time in the history of the implementation of NREGS, the scheme has generated more than 10 crore person days. The state achieved 102.3% of the labor budget and generated 1,023 lakh person days against the approved labor budget of 1,000 lakh person days. Average person days for households under the scheme in the year was 63.25. 470,412 households completed 100 days of employment under the scheme in financial year 2021, out of which 33,951. The state achieved 102.3% of the labor budget and generated 1,023 lakh person days against the approved labor budget of 1,000 lakh person days. Average person days for households under the scheme in the year was 63.25. 470,412 households completed 100 days of employment under the scheme in financial year 2021, out of which 33,951 are tribal households. Women person days out of the total person days generated is 90.49%. Minority Welfare Department. My government is committed to address the problems faced by the minority communities in the right earnest. A commission headed by a retired judge of the Kerala High Court has been appointed to study the issues faced by Christian minority. Its report is awaited. My government has started a coaching center for youth belonging to minority communities in Thalassery in the last financial year. Scholarships worth 15.81 crore for students undergoing courses in various stages and streams have been disbursed. Under Pradhan Mantri Jan Vikas Karyakram, sanction has been accorded for the construction of birds schools, dialysis centers, common service centers, women facilitation and skill development center. COVID relief at rupees 2,000 each has been provided to 12,500 madrasa teachers. Norka Department. COVID-19 pandemic has affected the Pravasi in diverse ways. From March 2020 to May 2021, an estimated 14.01 lakh NRKs have returned to Kerala. The COVID-19 pandemic triggered the return, with over 60% of them losing their jobs overseas. As a result, my government has implemented rescue, relief and rehabilitative measures to reduce the impact of the pandemic on the lives of the returning migrants. My government established help desk in 16 countries for providing information and help in evacuation measures initiated by the Government of India and Kerala. The existing schemes of Santhavana and NDPREM were strengthened to extend financial assistance to the Pravasi community. Norka Department is implementing 24 planned programs through its 4 organizations: the Pravasi Welfare Board implements several welfare programs like pension schemes and Pravasi dividend scheme. Pravasi dividend scheme has so far collected a deposit of 181.1 crore. My government proposes to facilitate safer, ethical, and economically advantageous migration to new markets with additional skill training in language and other skills. My government will prepare Vision Document 2030 during the year 21-22, which is aligned with its policies and programs and in tune with the goals set in United Nations SDGs. Ports Department. My government has completed construction of 101 meter length first phase of the passenger cum multi-purpose berth at Kollam Port as part of enabling the port to facilitate commercial shipping. Power Department. My government has ensured 24/7 power supply to its consumers without imposing any load shedding or power cut during the last 5 years. The technical loss in power transmission was brought down to an all-time low of 9.86% from 14.37% in 15-16. The Transgrid 2 project with project outlay of 10,000 crores is transforming the power transmission infrastructure to meet the requirements of the state for next 2 decades. Public Works Department. The department is implementing 20,000 crore rupees worth of works under KIIFB funding. Out of 320 projects approved, 184 projects are in progress and 115 are under evaluation. Administrative sanction has also been accorded for Ellapura-Changanasheri Road for an amount of 671.66 crore. Out of the 29 RKI projects, agreements have been executed for 24 works for 3,712 crore. These will be disaster resilient roads with long-term maintenance contracts and design life of 15 years. Rebuild Kerala Initiative. The state of Kerala was designated as the development partner by the World Bank and provided a development policy loan of $250 million as its first tranche for the project for rebuilding the infrastructure in Kerala after devastating floods in 2018. Recently, the negotiating meetings with the Government of India, World Bank and AIIB for an additional amount of $250 million for RK12 are over and the project is likely to be approved soon. The total external assistance tied up from World Bank, KFW and AIB towards RKDP project implementation so far is rupees 5,898 crore, and this when added to the state share of 30% comes to a total of 8,425 crore rupees. Against this, administrative sanctions have been issued for rupees 7,405 crore rupees for projects under 12 departments which are now in various stages of implementation. 4,677 crore rupees worth projects have already been tendered and are under implementation. Sainik Welfare Department. The initial work on the long-awaited war memorial at Akulam near Southern Air Command will be undertaken during the current financial year. Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribes Development Department. In order to ensure placement in private and public sectors, my government will set up a virtual tribal employment exchange by bringing potential employers, industry leaders, line departments, and unemployed tribal youth on a common platform. In order to eliminate the linguistic barriers in education and learning of tribal children, the Scheduled Tribes Development Department had formulated an innovative program called Gotra Bandhu. Under this program, educated tribal youth, preferably with TTC B.Ed qualification with knowledge in tribal dialect and Malayalam, are being selected and trained to function as mentor, teacher, education facilitator in selected primary schools throughout the state. 500 new community study centers will be established during 21-22, thereby helping at least 15,000 tribal children in achieving academic excellence. Under the Gotra Jivika program, the Scheduled Tribes Development Department has trained 1,170 tribal youth so far in skills related to construction industry, masonry, plumbing, electrification, carpentry, and constituted 54 self-help groups. It is intended to expand this program in 2021-22 and train 2,000 tribal youth. It is also proposed to set up tribal village markets, Apna Mandi, in required locations to help in the marketing of tribal products. Special schemes to support tribal startups will be implemented by the department during 21-22. It is proposed to ensure internet connectivity in all tribal hamlets in the state wherever it is not available at present through a special program, thereby improving service delivery. Through Life Mission, 4,000 houses will be constructed under Phase 2 and Phase 3 during 21-22. Gotra Valsalya Nidhi is another flagship program of my government, which is an insurance-based endowment scheme aimed at the overall development of every tribal girl child. About 1,000 girl children are expected to be brought under the protection of this scheme during 21-22. 18,690 scheduled caste families benefited from the scheme for provision of land to landless families for construction of houses. Dr. Ambedkar Village Development Scheme for Scheduled Caste Colonies, Foreign Employment Subsidy, and facilitating startup dreams of scheduled caste entrepreneurs are other notable schemes of the department which will be continued with renewed vigor in the current financial year. The Integrated Institute of Medical Science Palakkad will be made fully functional in the year 21-22. Science and technology. My government had envisioned establishing a research institute exclusively for virology research, given the fact that the state has been severely hit by different viral infections in recent years. Consequently, the Institute of Advanced Virology has formally started functioning at Life Science Park, Thonakkal, Thiruvananthapuram on 15th October 2020. Infrastructure, including laboratory equipment and manpower, has been established for the IAV. The IAV is expected to conduct cutting-edge research in the field of virology. Social Justice Department. With the establishment of Women and Child Development Departments, the Social Justice Department could focus its attention more on the needs of marginalized sections of the society, such as persons with disabilities, senior citizens, and transgenders. The state will ensure reservation in jobs as per the RPWD Act in a time-bound manner. My government recognizes the needs of the aging population. The Maintenance of Welfare of Parents and Senior Citizens Act 2007 will be implemented with renewed vigor. The last 5 years have witnessed the mainstreaming of the voiceless transgenders. They will be brought to the forefront of civil society and empowered to climb up to reach the heights of societal ladder. The last 5 years also witnessed the importance of probation system. This will be further strengthened. Survey and land records. My government has taken steps regarding establishment of continuously operating reference station in the state to facilitate the survey activities of the state by introducing and establishing modern technologies, sports and youth affairs. This department proposes to establish G.V. Raja Center of Excellence in Manakulam with KIIFB assistance. Taxes. There has been significant increase in GST collections in the last quarter of the financial year 2021. This has been the combined result of various compliance measures. Tourism Department. Human by nature. The marketing strategy adopted by Kerala tourism during 1920 to tide over the crisis due to the massive floods in 2018 has been recognized by PATA and was bestowed with PATA Gold Award during 2021. The print campaign and film campaign of Human by Nature won 2 Das Golden Stater Awards 2020 as well. In order to extend support to the tourism stakeholders, a COVID-19 relief assistance package has been sanctioned in 2021 through Tourism Working Capital Support Scheme, Tourism Empowerment Support Scheme, Tourism Houseboat Support Scheme and Tourism Guide Support Scheme. The ongoing projects of Malanad Malabar River Cruise, Miyawaki Model Afforestation in 12 districts, Waste Management at 79 destinations, Thalassery Heritage Project Phase 2, projects at Valley, Kovalam and Shangumukham, Travancore Heritage Project, Muzari's Heritage Project Phase 2, Travancore Achutengu Heritage Corridor Project and Vinoda Sanchara Bhavan at Thiruvananthapuram are worth mentioning. Transport Department. The policy of my government will be to incentivize the public transport system, including road transport, taxis and auto rickshaws. At the same time, the private transport modes will be disincentivized to reduce traffic blocks, environmental pollution, accidents and time delays. All the heavy vehicles and public transport vehicles will be encouraged to switch over to green fuels, CNG, LNG, electricity and hydrogen. Kerala State Road Transport Corporation, the management of KSRTC will be made professional and several cost-cutting and efficiency-enhancing measures will be implemented through KSRTC restructure. As part of this, my government will go ahead with a separate company for long-distance service operations, namely KSRTC. Swift Limited KSRTC will be transformed into a reliable, affordable, commuter-friendly and clean transport system for the Kerala. Water Transport Department. The entire fleet of water transport boats will be switched over to CNG or solar power. The department has decided to introduce India's first solar electric RO service and Kerala's first amphibious type water bus during the year 21-22. The modernization of water transport will be undertaken to dovetail with other public transport systems. The potential for cargo movement, tourism avenues and ferry services will be utilized fully. India's first solar-powered boat named Aditya on the Vacuum Tavanakavadu route won the Gustav Trove Award 2020 and has been successfully ferrying passengers for the last 4 years. Kerala Rail Development Corporation. The ambitious Silver Line project envisaged by my government will introduce cost-effective semi-high-speed rail travel for the first time in Kerala. The Silver Line will be a game changer, providing a convenient mode of transport to the people of Kerala by reducing the travel time from Thiruvananthapuram to Kasaragod to 4 hours from existing 12 hours. Kochi Metro. Kochi Metro has achieved completion of the phase 1 of the project from Eluva to Peta with the inauguration of the last stage on 7th September. Kochi Metropolitan Transport Authority has been constituted on 30th October. It is the first authority of its kind in India to integrate, plan and regulate different commuting models of the city. Water Resources Department. The Water Resources Department has resolved to constitute a river basin conservation and management authority for coordinating all water-related activities at the river basin. A draft bill has been finalized and my government will enact the legislation for the constitution of RBCMA in this year. In interstate waters, the major interstate river waters sharing agreement called the Parambi-Kulam-Aliyar agreement is long due for revision. My government will look into the various aspects and will try to reach a mutually agreeable settlement with Tamil Nadu and enforce the new agreements. Also, it will be ensured that the new agreements shall not adversely affect the interest of the state. All necessary steps will be initiated to ensure the ecological balance in the river basins. Adequate projects will be initiated to utilize the Kerala share of 30 TMC water from Kaveri Basin like Attappady Valley Irrigation Project. Women and Child Development Department. The comprehensive development and empowerment of women and children has always been a priority area for the state. Much impetus will be given to nutrition, safety, equality and several other realms of interaction of women and children. The Anganwadi system, which plays a foremost role in the overall development of women and children, has to be reformed to suit the requirements of a modern state. In issues like child marriage, dowry systems, gender bias, violence, discrimination against women and children, concerted action of the department and the civil society is the requirement to eliminate them. My government as a policy is committed to ensure the freedom of movement for women throughout the state, mainstreaming women, developing a gender-sensitive legal system, identifying the vulnerable groups, menstrual hygiene, fight against non-communicable diseases like cancer, HIV, AIDS among women will get focused attention. Kerala has a large number of single women, especially in their old age. Special emphasis will be given to their active engagement in the programs of my government. Women collectives will be encouraged further. My government as a policy will ensure basic minimum facilities for child care institutions, hostels, including those for the working women, shelter homes, creches, etc. The benefits of maternity benefit and Prevention of Sexual Harassment in Workplaces Act will reach all sectors, especially the private and unorganized sector. Vigilance and Anti-Corruption. The Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau has initiated several innovative measures in support of my government policy of zero tolerance to corruption in the administration and implementation of the projects. In conclusion, let me state that my government strongly believes in the principles of cooperative federalism, in which center, state and local governments are equal partners in the developmental efforts. The state has recently celebrated 25 years of democratic decentralization. This is an example of tiers of government functioning in cooperation and harmony and not as parts of the pyramidal structure. In this version that has led it is this vision that has led my government to advocate restructuring of center-state relations. My government believes in fostering the spirit of constitutional ethos and uphold the values of the freedom movement like democracy, secularism, and right to fruits of development by everyone in our society. My government is committed to transform them into reality. Thank you. Jai Hind. It is this vision that has led my government to advocate restructuring of center-state relations. My government believes in fostering the spirit of constitutional ethos and uphold the values of the freedom movement like democracy, secularism, and right to fruits of development by everyone in our society. My government is committed to transform them into reality. Thank you. Jai Hind.